And coming off that flight, the guy was like, you know, when was the last time you smoked weed? Probably the last time I was in Colorado. Big problem. So they're nice and close though. I can't wear my cowboy hat.
Why?
Because look, you can't.
I like it. I think it works.
It's okay.
I feel like I think I read you were a professional bull rider.
Yeah.
And I feel like you should be able to keep your hat on if you could keep that on during the bull riding.
You can, like, I mean, it has a strap, but I never use the strap. But anyway, it's the signature at the shows that easier to find me.
I was going to say, like, I think, is it related to your actor name?
Kylie Coyote?
Yeah.
No.
It sounds like it is. It kind of like all like outback Texas-y kind of.
It's true.
I mean, I try to have a signature. Like these are pearls. I'm trying to make it my
cute.
signature.
That's good.
And at Sexpo, I wore that full like bodysuit with pearls.
Yeah, that was hot.
But I think like it's too much to wear now.
Right.
And I get so nervous, and then it's indoors, and I'm like sweating in it. I need to make like a sheet my signature or something, like a baggy shirt. Like that's just like not a tight outfit.
Yeah, exactly.
Or like
something
a cool
to
hat.
Relax.
You know?
Yeah, cool hat.
I should have, if I knew that this was the thing,
But
I would have.
the thing is you're wearing these, so you need like a clip.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe like a bird.
A bird?
Because you've got a high pony. That's cute.
Do you know that's really what you said about Bird's Nest? You know Marie Antoinette?
Yeah.
So I love Marie Antoinette.
Yeah.
I actually have a tattoo of her.
Have you?
Yeah. Do you want to see it?
Yeah. I see it. That's her bird's nest.
Yeah.
That's what you could start going with.
My God, maybe I could copyright Marie Antoinette. Would be cool. Maybe I should put a bird's nest in there.
Mm-hmm.
That should be my signature.
There's a lot of hair going on.
I'm really excited to do this episode today because like I wanted to do this because like I was like, oh cool, like, you know, you're someone who does like Sexpo. That's already a cool thing. And then you're the first guest to ever say, Google me, babe. Like, what a flex to say, Google me. I screenshot that text message. I'm going to put it up when I to finish this episode. I'm like, that's just what my guest told me to do today. Yeah. Google her.
Well, it's such a much easier way to grab the information that you kind of want or you need. I mean, I could talk all day about what my life has been about.
Well, I mean, we've got so much time today, so I hope we can get through some stuff. Before I introduce you, welcome back to another episode of Project S.L.U.T, Untamed Tarts, or better known as Project S.L.U.T, the show that educates and entertains all things sex in an inclusive and positive way. And I'm here today with Belinda. She's so cool. Like, I don't even know what kind of title to give you because usually I'm like, oh, this is like the skimpy we're doing today, or this is like the escort we're doing today. But like, this is like a whole different category of person that we're like, you know, like you said, you could just Google her and then like you wouldn't even need to watch the episode. You could just Google who you are.
Yeah.
So before we like get into that, because I have just now so many more questions, I just thought we could just like get to know you about like just you as like just the kind of the surface level person. All right. I'm going to throw some bunch of questions at you and just answer them really quickly. All right.
Yeah.
Summer or winter?
Summer.
Sushi or steak?
Steak.
Vodka or gin?
Vodka.
Penis or vagina?
Ooh. I'm a BHC fan.
What's BHC?
Big, hard cock. But I like pussy too, so I don't know. You know what I mean?
You don't just like, I feel like, I don't know if it's an American thing or an Australian thing, but I don't hear many people referring to like penis as cock here. Right.
I think penis sometimes, if I'm talking with people about penises, it's more clinical.
Yeah,
if I'm Belinda, it's probably penises. If I'm dealing with sex by penis. If I'm Kylie, which is my alter ego, and she's hotter and sexier and a lot looser, she likes to talk about BHC.
Okay, so you mentioned Kylie already. So let's just start with like who you are, what you do, what is this spicy life?
So my name is Belinda Gavin.
Yeah.
I am Australian born in Sydney, raised on the Gold Coast. And then I lived in the States for 25 years. So
where in the States did you live?
Los Angeles most of the time.
Ooh, Hollywood.
Aspen, Colorado, and Miami, Florida. So I studied acting at Lee Strasberg, which is an acting school there. And then I kind of ended up doing softcore movies, so I'm not very good at keeping the veil of things.
What's the softcore movie? Just so our
Yeah.
vanilla listeners know what a
So,
softcore movie is.
Softcore movies are like there is no penetration, so it's just nudity. We actually wear what we call a snatch patch, which is a band-aid essentially over your vagina. So nothing slips in or no one, is, which has happened in the past. It's a whole nother story. But so it's simulated sex and there's actually no penetration.
Yeah.
I was shooting back in the days when it was kind of just after Red Shoe Diaries, which is going back. But I guess.
So what decade are we talking right now?
2000. 2000, I did my first, it was a French film.
Ooh.
And I didn't wear a patch, but I learned quite soon after that.
Why you do?
Yeah, why you do. Yeah. So it was a learning process, but I was totally and still am completely confident naked. I'm what they call, back then they still shot on video, so it was tape that we were using.
Like VHS tape. Oh my God. So I would have had to like go up to this tape, rewind to watch you.
Yeah, again.
Oh wow.
You can watch some of them still. Google me. It's on.
Oh, I did.
Yeah.
We'll get to that later today.
So that it was real easy for me, and that was paying anywhere from $500 to $800 plus a day.
What?
Minimum 2 weeks at a time.
That's in 2000. That's like the inflation cost.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money.
It was great. I mean, it was great. I was
How
bartending.
did you even get into that? Like, what made you start that?
So it started because I was actually pretty confident with both sides of the camera. I worked with one of the producers on the movie as the casting director.
So you just started in
So
films.
yeah, as a part of the package, I was a casting director. I was the assistant production manager, assistant director. I mean, this is low budget, so I was like an assistant wardrobe. My best friend did wardrobe. So from that package, I also got a part in the movie. I was always really confident, but the thing that's made me stand out from a lot of people after these first initial movies that I shot was that I could remember lines really easily. So people, in softcore porn and things like that, a lot of people maybe are not so professional and don't turn up. So I got a lot of work from people not turning up.
Because you were just professional.
Yeah, I'm like ready to go whenever.
Yeah.
And I would learn my lines in makeup.
That's crazy.
So, and I was a one-shot wonder, meaning we could get it all in one take.
Yeah.
They didn't have to waste film, so that was what was important back then. Now, it doesn't matter.
Have to run down to the shop and get some more film.
Yeah, I worked in production. I worked with Wicked Pictures after all of that as well, which was hardcore porn. And it became increasingly difficult to be the production manager, which was a big job on set for Wicked Pictures. And then the next day sometimes be booked as talent. So for a little while, I couldn't work with guys because they were like...
Wait, so how was the transition from softcore to hardcore? Like, what made you be like, all right, may as well just
I
take
never
off the
did
patch?
hardcore. I never did.
Oh, you
hardcore.
haven't done
No,
hardcore?
I worked in production.
Oh,
so I was the
so
production
for
manager.
hardcore. Yeah, okay.
So I was a boss on set, and then they would get to fuck me the next day. Fake.
Yeah.
But it was hard for a porn star to hide
Transition.
some things. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it became, increasingly difficult. So I just did girls for a while until I would work with, or I would specifically work with certain guys that were professional. Because otherwise I'd be on set the next day, like yelling at them, and they'd be like, "Oh, girl, we're going to get you tomorrow. I'm going to get you in that scene." I'm like, "You are not going to do anything that's like that at all." But it was definitely a great time in the States. When I look back,
what was it like being a porn star in the 2000s? Like, what was that lifestyle like?
It was fun when we went to Vegas. I mean, I hung out with one great girlfriend of mine who shot a lot of stuff as well, and it was kind of like people would just say, "Hey, don't I know you from somewhere? You know how you've been." I'm like, "Yeah, you're probably watching late night TV." Because it was all over that. I mean, I've had some funny experiences where I was like in Mexico one time with a big group of Texans that were her friends. And it was late night, we're partying. They had a massive house we were all staying in. And the TV was on, and I'm like, I'm about to walk down the stairs. They're like, "Bullshit, no way." I'm like, "Yep, here we go. 3, 2, here I come." Down the stairs in the movie I walked. They're all like, "What? Oh my God." I'm like, "Yeah."
Oh my God. So that would have been an experience.
Yeah, it was always fun. I mean, being in the adult industry, it's I'm sure, as you guys know, it's civilians are different. You know, like the outside world is kind of different. I had a pretty good blend of mainstream and adult stuff, but yeah, I'm still pretty wild for most vanilla civilians, and you know, have stories that, you know, they are just like, oh my God, I can't believe it. I mean, previous to any of the adult stuff that I shot, I was still shooting or working in Hollywood, like you said. So there was a lot of Hollywood stories as well. I managed a band that was fun. I was kind of into the music industry as well. You know, went to a lot of parties. It was a great time. And
your life sounds like a movie. Like when you think about like old Hollywood and like a porn star just like living her life, that going to Vegas, like
Vegas was fun.
You know, managing bands. Like this seems like one of those like docu-series drama things that we watch on Netflix, you know, like this underbelly life.
Well, I've been to AVNs when it was in LA.
Stop, you did.
And I've been to probably a dozen AVNs now, but
you're just like,
the
it's not a big deal.
One,
it's a big deal for me, okay?
Yeah, it is a big deal. I think it's come back. So, you know, it kind of, things go in ebbs and flows. And I think like this year I didn't go, but it really came back. I went when it was like small and, you know, really, I want to say dirty, but grungy kind of, because it was the 90s, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. And, you know, it was a lot for me to even take in. But I really enjoyed it. I like hanging around like-minded people. And I think that was when I was like, wow, these people are real people. This is what they do. They're still shooting movies. That's why for me, a little Aussie girl who went over to the States to act, when I was starting to shoot movies and shooting, you know, for years, like I said, from 600 to 800 a day, which was great. I was like, this is awesome. I now have 37 movies. Granted, they were of a softcore or an erotic genre. I didn't care. I had to be naked for half an hour. Like,
that's still a lot. I'm never
care.
Naked. This is like, I'm showing my shoulders today and I'm just like, you know, like
it was not a big deal for me. So there was, I mean, there was weeks and weeks of dialogue. So it was all acting. It was all of the training that I had really worked hard for. And I was good in the industry. You know, I was getting booked a lot. I got my SAG card, which is the union card. You know, I went to Hawaii, I went to Miami, I went to all these lovely places, getting paid, hanging out with hot people all the time.
I mean, that's the life, right?
Yeah, it was the life. In the meantime of that, which is quite funny and ironic, I was rodeoing.
Rodeoing. Yeah. Maybe I shouldn't have taken a sip. Rodeoing. What is that? Sorry.
So I was always friends with an amazing gay personal trainer in LA. Yep. And when I came back in 2000, I rode horses my whole life. So I knew that I had to ride horses. LA is a town that can, well, it's a big city, but it can really and spit you out. So you need things to ground you. Riding was going to be one of them. And he said to me, oh, you should come out to my ranch. I have horses. I'm like, okay, no worries. And so he saw me ride, and I was a pretty good rider. I said, okay. So I went off to my friend Todd and said, hey, there's a producer who wants to, you know, shoot a movie about bull riding, and they're thinking of casting me. So can teach me how to ride a bull. And he started laughing.
Did you actually learn how to ride a bull?
I'm a bull riding champion now. Long story short.
So this is like a real bull. We're not talking about like the little plasticky ones that have like you hire for box parties.
Yeah. So I started on steers. Steers are much smaller. I became a steer riding champion.
So it's still a bull you're riding. Like, it's not a small animal.
Well, then I was like, yeah, then I wanted to conquer the bulls. I'm rodeoing the whole weekend. It's the horse events, the bull events, the steer events, other stock events, which include tying bows on, you know, steers' butts and dragging them. Wild drag is one event where you put a drag queen on a steer and drag it across the line. So then I was like, yeah, I want to ride bulls. And I rode a couple of bulls, and the bulls are probably about 300 pound heavier than the steers, a lot bigger. Yeah, it was a lot. But then something happened in my life. I was going through a divorce, and I was like, I'm going to get that buckle. And it was actually I manifested a lot of things in my time.
I love manifesting.
This was one thing that was to the T. And if I can suggest any kind of manifesting, it's just keep it up. Just stay the ground, stay the course. In my mind, pictured exactly what I wanted. I got kind of greedy, and I wanted to win all the prize money because I knew that would be thousands of dollars. If somebody else covers, they would take some of my money away. So I had a number in my head, and long story short, it it happened exactly how I saw it in my head. I won
Wow.
$3,333, and I
Love the numbers.
I had 3,000 in my mind, and I got the buckle. So yeah, I'm bull riding champion.
That's amazing. Like this is like, and we need to have like a little list of like your accolades.
Yeah.
Do you think your bull riding champion and your porn career like have ever crossed over and helped in one way or the another? Like, do you think like, yeah, like when you're in a scene with a guy and he's like, wow, you do this well, you're like, I'm a bull riding champion.
I love cowgirl, reverse cowgirl, like all of that. I do like being on top. I think I can hold on.
You just give me this look of saying someone's like, even if you're the woman and you're getting penetrated, like you're my bitch.
Yeah,
That's a vibe I get.
it is a little bit, and I try not to be that way sometimes because supposedly I'm intimidating. So
I mean, who cares?
some guys do and some guys don't, you know. So Kylie is a little girlier and she's a little softer, but she can take control if they want.
Belinda's a boss.
Belinda's a boss bitch. I mean,
Balls bitch.
yeah, you do not want to catch Belinda on a bad day, or if you are a teleoperator, forget about it. Like,
So I should text you next time I need something for work. I'm like, hey, am I speaking to Kylie today or Belinda?
exactly. Yeah.
See who I'm getting on
I'll
a
be
good
like,
day.
ask for Kylie today because yeah, I mean, Sexpo is Belinda. Sexpo is Belinda the boss bitch. Sexpo poached me basically from the Candy Shop Mansion because I can deal with unique, high energy events. We'll put it at that.
Well, we'll get into that, I guess, right now, like May as well. How did you go from porn star to boss bitch at Sexpo?
Right. So when I came back from, I went back to the States, and when I came back to Australia, it was after Gladiators, and I hadn't really shot any more softcore. I was trying to make some space between my softcore because at that point in time, it was jeopardizing, you know, it was still mid 2000s. It was not as open as it is now. And it was, you know, they're still very prudish in the States. And it was like, yeah, so I wanted to put some space between that to be able to go mainstream. So
I feel that's wild because I thought America was like
they're not
raunchy.
They're not. They're way more uptight than anybody else. I think it, you know, to some
God.
degree.
Okay.
Just because they shoot porn there, yeah, it doesn't mean that. You know, they shame and sex. It's just like it's a whole nother context for me. I'm just not even going to talk about it.
Okay.
Because it's really, really sad. You know, we're born from pleasure.
Yeah,
So
we are.
it's like everybody deserves pleasure. The fact that people are shamed about it, I feel really sad for them.
Yeah.
Because fortunately, I've lived a life where I can be this way, and now I'm confidently, you know, sexual and over the top sometimes with it. But when I came back, I wanted some space. So I tried to be normal. I worked in...
Try to be normal.
Yeah, tried to live the civilian lifestyle. I worked in events. I was working. My boyfriend at the time was a race car driver, and we, you know, I helped him with sponsorship at V8s. We did all kinds of amazing racing events out at his racetrack. I taught stunt driving, you know, driver training, all things like that, which were amazing. And then I went to go back to the States, and it was right after the Paris bombing, and I was profiled pretty hard. And coming off that flight on a big night the night before, the guy was like, you know, when was the last time you smoked weed? And I was like, oh, probably the last time I was in Colorado.
Yeah.
Big problem. So, yeah,
You're like, I'm trying to be honest, man. Like,
yeah,
come on.
honesty does not get you anywhere at customs.
Okay,
let me tell
I'll
you
make
that.
the note of that next
Yeah.
time.
And it's still a federal offense in the States to smoke weed.
Is
Yeah,
it?
I know. I saw that.
I thought it was okay
It's
in
state
some
by state law,
Oh,
but it's a federal offense.
oh
And when
God.
you sign the visa waiver, this is for anybody who's traveling. When you sign a visa waiver, you sign to say, no, you've never broken a federal law in your country or their country. So anyone who has, don't say that you have. Like
Okay.
me. Yeah. I guess it forced me to stay in Australia, so I had to really reassess. I was like, what am I going to do now? And Travis Bainan from the Candy Shop Mansion, and I have been friends since Miami, 1996.
You guys, see, the thing is, when I think back to like what you and him could look like back then in my, like, it's just, that's the scene. These are the scenes in the movie.
Yeah.
Like, he literally looks like it. You look like it.
Yeah.
And I'm talking to you guys right now. This isn't great. This is insane.
So back then, we were like, we're going to have the best parties in Australia. Anyway, I got the call up. He goes, hey, I've got something for you. He was going racing. And so I had just been dealing with V8 supercars. That is a whole nother long story. And Travis ended up racing. He did an amazing job. I started doing the parties with him. I was probably there for about 4 years. And funnily enough, strip club in Melbourne suggested to Kevin Mack, who has taken over Sexpo 2019, oh, you need to meet Belinda. She's like, she's your girl.
To meet.
And yeah, they did Brisbane Sexpo. I went. I thought, wow, this is...
And that was the first Expo?
No. Sexpo's been around for 27 years, girl.
See, this is insane to me because I'm 27.
Yeah.
That is insane because I don't think Sexpo's been around that long. I thought Sexpo was around the first time I heard about it was like when I was in high school.
27 years.
I cannot believe it's been around for 27 years.
And it's, Australia's biggest and only adult convention, like you were saying.
That's insane.
Yeah, and I'm probably in the Southern Hemisphere. I think probably our show is a lot different than like AVNs and things like that. Our show is about, sexuality, non-judgment, accepting, diversity, all of those things that I think are extremely important. Also about the entertainment, education, and, our creators, our Australian born and bred, not just porn stars, but creators are becoming so much bigger now that we can't ignore this. You know what I mean? And everybody loves Australians. Worldwide, they love Australians. You know what I mean? And Australia always has amazing talent, whether it's, in the stars on set or behind the scenes as well. Girls Out West, they're winning awards left, right, and center.
I know.
Charlie Ford, nominated now so many times. I think Coco Bay, did she win this year? There's a couple of really new girls that won awards this year. Girthmaster, Pornhub just won.
Wow. So, and I didn't even know that was Australian.
He's Australian.
He's Australian, yeah.
Pornhub's not.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
I like that you brought up the thing about digital creators because I actually wanted to ask you this. With this, we've got like mass people doing OnlyFans these days. And, when I was growing up, it wasn't a thing. Like, it was people still were doing, like, video porn. Like, that was a porn. And then, like, all of a sudden in the last, like, few years, like, the girl doing my eyelashes is also, like, on OnlyFans. Like, my mum's nail lady's on OnlyFans. My mum's like, what is OnlyFans? So how do you think the industry's kind of developed? And do you think kind of those erotic films are going less? Are they getting more? Like, where do you think your, opinion lies on this?
It's a great subject to bring up. Even when I was doing softcore, it was becoming more crossed over because the porn companies would shoot the softcore. So essentially the public is seeing porn stars, maybe just in the softcore genre, but they're seeing me, who was a mainstream actress, in with a bunch of porn stars. So I was just a porn star. There was no softcore. That all got, I would be
That's what it says when you Google it. It says your name and porn star.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, I'm softcore. It's different. No, nobody was thinking that. You know what I mean? So it just kind of blended all together. But still, we had to shoot with studios. We weren't, I didn't even have a phone, I don't think. I had a brick. But now, and, OnlyFans has been around a lot longer than we think. It was only because of COVID, everyone's stuck at home, that it actually spiked so hard. It has, in many ways, put the control of content and the movies into the performer, which is a huge change. Especially for women, a massive control in our laps, which I think is super empowering. And it gives the performer the chance to shoot whatever she wants, what she feels comfortable with, because there were many times, Lavinia, and it was sad at times, seeing girls on set that had never, it's their first ever porn, and I'm going to be brutal, first ever porn shoot, and they're doing DP anal. I'm just like,
not, like
girls.
Ease into it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And
I would always be like, why are you here? Like, who is this your idea? A lot of the times it was their boyfriends or whatever. They're looking for that attention. with OnlyFans or with online content, because OnlyFans is not the only one, let you guys know. There's a lot of others that are pretty good as well. The control is with us. We can shoot with somebody. If we don't like it, we erase it. Don't put it up. You know, we can choose who we want to shoot with. You can just shoot with yourself if you want. You don't have to, in the comfort of your own home. You don't have to have anyone else on set. Like when we're on set with a real studio and in a scene, there's like, you know, at least 6 or 7 people around.
Yeah, it's like a big production. It's a film.
Yeah, it's a film. I still think that there's place for it. There was always gonzo, you know, so there was always like slightly, I guess, dirty. I'm into pretty porn. So gonzo is like a bit.
What's pretty porn?
You know, where they're not like getting facials and not like getting all the makeup messed up, just all pretty still.
It's just like nicely. It's like,
yeah,
it's like soft.
Erotica.
Yeah. I mean, like the thing is, like I feel like I've, you know, when you go to like the hotels and like they give you the option to watch porn, obviously like I've been curious and I'm like, what's on there?
Yeah.
And I find it sometimes way more attractive because I'm like, obviously the production have gone into giving you the best lighting, the best angles. You look nice. Like that, I get why that's her thing.
Yeah.
Pretty porn. I love the word for it, pretty porn.
And I'm not sure that will ever go away, because I think that, like you just said, you know, there's always going to be a part for it. Has it decreased? Absolutely. It was decreasing, you know, in 2000 when I was starting. It wasn't online yet, but as soon as it did go online, like all of those producers, like all of my movies, you can get them online. I'm not getting any residuals. I'm not getting, you know, anything from it.
We should though. It's hard to find. Yeah. It's hard to find clips of you, by the way. That I know that sounds. We'll bring it up now. So obviously, I had to Google you. Right?
Yeah,
I had to Google. I'll put the PG stuff in here now. So I couldn't find any videos of you, but I found stills
of the video.
You were very, very like I'm very like straight, but I was like, damn. I was like, oh my God. I'm guessing you've never had work done on your body.
No, not on my body.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had my lips done a couple of times.
No, that doesn't count. No, like 10 out of 10 rack.
Thank you. Yeah. It's it's really funny that you mentioned this, actually. I was in trouble all the time for being too fit.
What do you mean by too fit?
My ass was too big.
Because into the 2000s, right?
Yeah.
In the 2000s. But like now when you look at it, that's
trendy.
like,
I'm like, damn girl, what happened
I know,
to that
but
booty?
like when I look at, because you're such a powerful figure, and I'll like put the photos in for reference because I just have this one picture in my mind. I'm so annoying I left my phone in that room. But it was like of you, and you've got like this jacket on, you can't see anything. You've got like these chains, and like you're talking to these girls.
Yeah.
You might not even remember this. You've probably done so many movies you don't remember. And I'm looking at this, I'm like, surely this is not the woman I'm talking to tomorrow. Like this is way too cool for me. This is like.
So if you want to find the videos, just go videos.
Okay, you know what?
Yeah.
I was actually Googling this at work, so probably shouldn't. Well, I had nothing to do. I was like, oh, like you texted me back while I was at work. So I was like, okay, so maybe as well Google. I put incognito mode on, obviously.
Oh, yeah, right.
I just thought I didn't want to put like the videos in just in case.
And both my names will come up because...
Which is your other name is Kylie
Wyote.
Where did that name come from? Like, how did you come up with that name?
So my best friend from Australia is Kylie, and that's quite Australian.
Yeah.
And I used to be Kylie Biscayne because Kylie Biscayne is like Miami.
Okay.
I loved Miami. And then that was kind of boring. And so I thought Kylie, Wiley, Coyote, Kylie Wyote. Kylie Wyote.
Cute.
Beep, beep.
That's so cute. And like, I don't, you didn't purposely link this, but the cowgirl hat kind of suits the Kylie Wyote.
Yeah, the cowboy hat has been... I'm in rodeoing, you wear a cowboy hat. So my brother just got me this cowboy hat. It's in new. I've always had a cowboy hat. And he just got me this from Mexico, actually. So
Cute.
It's real and real leather, obviously. It's a cowhide. And I wear it at Sexpo especially because it's so easy to find me.
Yeah.
And yeah, as you can imagine, I'm a wanted woman there.
Yeah, I mean, like I wanted to introduce myself, and this is a great time to talk about Sexpo. So I wanted to introduce myself to you when I first got to Sexpo, mostly because I was like very nervous talking on stage. It was like the first time I've ever been in like a setting like that. Like I'm trying to be more like in camera visuals because I'm like, that's just how you have to be these days. Like I can't just sit in my hoodie at home just like talking behind a mic anymore. So I came to find you. I was talking to the wall, which I was really sad that their flight came in late, so we didn't get to talk to them. But you were talking to them, and I was just like, who is this woman in this cowgirl hat? And I was like, oh my God, it's Belinda. So I was like, to introduce myself to you. And Sexpo was so much fun.
I'm glad. It's a lot of work.
I could not imagine the work that goes into Sexpo.
Yeah.
What is your favorite part about it? Like, why do you do this? Like, what's the obviously it's a
my
lot of work.
God.
So what do you do for these like 3 like intense days?
Why do I do this? It's a good question. I got overclamped. I do it for the community, man. I do it for the community because it has been a lot of work over the past 4 years.
Oh, wow.
With COVID and everything, you know. And it's been tough for the company that we work with. Thank God for Gavin that, you know, that's kept it going. The world needs Sexpo. Australia needs a show like Sexpo to remind people that sex is important, that education is important, that in diversity is important, that gay, straight, LGBTQIT is all important, you know, and to remind people that it's not going away. It's growing bigger. And some of our performers, like I was saying, performers, dancers, creators are amazing, incredible people that dedicate their lives to this because that's what they do. And that's, you know, without Sexpo, there would be no reason for them to do some of the things that they do. You know, the showgirls that we have that we put on our main stage perform everywhere around Australia and overseas sometimes. And I can't thank them all enough because I know that they go above and beyond the call, and I know that they do it like me for the community and for Sexpo to survive. And it is a lot of work. And I also have to thank, you know, the exhibitors that hang in. Some of the exhibitors have been exhibiting for 27 years.
And like the fact that you said that this has been going on for 27 years blows my mind because I thought this was maybe like a 10-year tops.
Yeah, I mean, I have a lot of people that I work with that have done Sexpo longer than me even. I'm like a baby Sexpo. There's like plenty of other exhibitors and performers that have performed there way before 2019 than when I arrived on the scene. And it is, you know, for me, like I was talking about the Candy Shop Mansion, or I've done events my whole life, even in Hollywood. With lots of people coming to my parties. But it's like, you know, having that problem solving skill that when you're in high energy, it's just natural for me. And so I believe that's why Kevin has me and still has me with him because I'm not corporate. I'm not your typical event manager, but I can put out a fire with my big O's anywhere. And my team, you know, Adam Jones is my on-site husband. And he is amazing, and we all work together as a team like clockwork, and we just get it done. And I guess, fortunately for my body, it gets easier as we keep doing more and more. But we always are lifting the bar, you know what I mean? So it's always like, it's not always rinse and repeat. It is always different. And I know that you asked me about some things that happened and I promised my team that I would keep this a secret, but
oh no, here we go.
Yeah,
all right, we'll take it. We'll cheers for this. We'll take a big swig for them.
Cheers, team. Sorry. You know, we have very few big dramas, and I don't think anybody knew that there were a drama, but the moment that you know that something's wrong, you're like, oh, how are we gonna fix this?
Yeah.
So I'm going to tell you this one because we fixed it so easily, and it was only because of the Perth community that we did.
Woohoo! One for Perth.
I know.
Good job, guys.
We have 6 ex-stripper poles, so you know.
Yeah.
And we use 4 on the main stage, and we use 2 in the strip room all weekend long. Mm-hmm. We carry them on pallets. We have a truck. Blah 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 blah. Adam and I pack the truck. We unpack the truck. We're at Sexpo. We're about to put the poles up. And I don't know if you know anything about X-poles, but they have a staging frame, bottom, pole in the middle, and then sheets of metal that come in as the staging parts.
Okay.
Like pieces of pie.
All right.
6 poles.
Yep.
No pieces of pie.
Oh, no.
Back in Melbourne. So no poles.
Wait, who was in charge of like packing them?
Me and Adam.
I was like, who did you have to yell at? Who did you have to yell
at? He's like, he's got no hair, but he was like, I'm like, okay.
So what'd you do? So what day was this, by the way? Was it Friday?
It's actually Thursday.
Okay, all right.
Thursday.
It's Thursday.
So we have literally, I guess, 12 hours to work this out.
Yeah.
Fortunately, obviously, Delilah Daniels is one of our big performers. We're working with Natalie from Perth's Best Girls or Skimpy Heaven and Faye from Pride Pole. Obviously, well, I'm Googling already. Pole Studios. Emerald Pole. We were all,
all of them.
All of them. I'm like calling. Natalie was the best because she's like, oh my God. She has Skimpies at the taverns.
Yeah.
So the other, my sales guy, Sam, and I spent the afternoon picking up poles and pies. And by 1 o'clock Friday, we had all our poles.
Wow.
So that was the first problem.
Was that not
solved.
easier just not to fly them in from Melbourne?
No.
Okay.
The cost. Firstly, someone having to try to find them at the storage. You know what I mean? To get it down, on a
That's
thing.
all right. One day Sexpo will have a jet for these things.
Exactly. Oh, that would be a dream come true.
We'll manifest it. We just have to
Exactly. The Sexpo jet. Can you imagine? Already,
we're doing it. We have to.
Oh my God!
It's been around for 27 years, and at least the next 20, we'll have a Sexpo jet. But you have to promise me something because we're manifesting it first together. I get to be one of the first.
Absolutely.
Carriers. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well,
Pinky
this on
swear.
camera.
Pinky
These are
swear.
unbreakable.
Unbreakable.
I can sue for this. This is a verbal contract. All right, so go on. So you called around the studios.
That's it. We got the poles. We had to just run around, put them together, and that was it. It was one of the biggest dramas that was so easily solved because of the Perth community. And without them, we would have been in a lot of strife.
Oh, I'm great.
The other one was similar to yours because the Wall boys were on a flight, remember, from Brisbane. Guess who's also on that flight?
Who?
Our host.
This is a thing for next time, guys. Airlines are dodgy. You need to book at least the day before to come in.
Well, yeah, I learned my lesson by mistakes or usually by it costing me money. So yeah, we definitely learned some lessons about Perth and the flights and things. We've never had, those were two of the biggest problems we've ever had and very easily solved. I mean, Men of Dreams stepped up and did a little hosting. Luckily, I don't mind talking into a microphone, so we all helped out. And then
why are you not like performing or doing do you just do too many things? You're just like, I can't do this.
Yeah, it's difficult to change from Kylie to Belinda, especially at Sexpo.
Okay. It's like the shooting kind of going from production to camera.
Exactly. Okay. I'm in, I don't know if you saw my butt bag there, but it's like you could fit the kitchen sink in there. So I'm like, got everything right on me. I'm usually sweating. I wear the cowboy hat so that you can't see how bad my hair is looking.
I think you looked great.
Running around sweating. I think usually I work, like, as each day goes along, there's less and less dramas, so to speak. We were a little short-handed, so I was mopping the stage, carrying things on and off the stage. But that's our whole team. We just get in.
You just got to do it.
Get her done. So, but by Sunday, I wore my skirt and my little pink top then, so I'm doing less.
The next expo is in Sydney July
26, 27, 28.
Yeah. What can we expect from that? And would you encourage people to, if they're there or if they want to go to a different sexpo,
absolutely.
Should they go?
Every sexpo is different. Obviously Perth, we had a lot of Perth performers. So Dan Dixon, Penny Luck, Lucy Lovegun.
It's so good to see all your friends there.
Yeah.
I was looking at that board and I was like, hey, they're my friends. We're all friends here. This is great.
Exactly. It's great because we don't have to fly them anywhere because they're here.
Yeah.
So we'll do the same in Sydney. We'll use a lot of local performers and we'll bring some of our stables as well. And some of these performances, they love changing it up. So at this point, who knows if they're going to change them a little bit. There's some that I would really like to keep, and there's some, this is just main stage performances. There's some that I can't wait to get the locals in and see what they have to bring, because I'm always, we want different stuff. We want stuff that's jaw-dropping. The main stage is the only place we can actually get naked in Sexpo, except for the female strip and the male strip, But performance-wise, that's what the people come to see is something jaw-dropping.
Yeah.
So that's what we strive to give them. We had Manny. I'm not sure if I'm sure a lot of people saw Manny. Coco was an amazing performer with Delilah in Melbourne. and he doesn't mind getting his big 11-inch cock out.
Yeah.
That was a great collaboration of Perth and Melbourne talent.
Amazing.
Because Delilah does come over to Perth a lot, so she worked pretty hard on that, and so did Dan and Penny. I believe they did a lot of new things that they'd never done before, which I think it's great because the main stage at Sexpo is iconic, and you've got to push the boundaries. You know, it's
that's what it's there for.
Exactly.
This is the moment. If you want to push the boundaries, push it there.
Exactly. And yeah, Sydney will bring back a lot of exhibitors. Last year, Sydney, we had
So soz about this. Somewhere towards the end of the episode, the footage stopped copying onto the drives and lost the last 15 minutes of the episode. I hope you enjoyed the tales of a Hollywood porn star with Belinda Gavin. This won't be the last time we will see her on the show. Till next time, stay safe, stay whorish.